Okay, we are live. Welcome everyone. I will wait as usually a little bit more, maybe a few 10, 20 seconds, and more people join. If you watch me later in recording also, you are welcome to leave comments or questions if you will have. I will also have some like homework suggestions, I would say like that. So if you will have any questions about this topic also, you're welcome to ask and to leave your comments as well. If you didn't watch my previous video, I was talking about uh, 10 benefits of learning solving fundamentals, foundation, learning solving with a very like fundamental skills. I did this live 2 days ago on Tuesday. So if you just click my previous video, you will see it, and I will also leave the link to this video in the description to this video. And today, the day number 2 in this 3-part series, and we are talking today about 10 biggest, like not biggest, like major mistakes people make while learning to solve, or already more, if you have already experience, already solving like more experience. Also, sometimes people make it even with much more experience. So let's begin. Mistake number 1, I see very often people make when they are in a hurry to make. First of all, in a hurry to finish their project, like to be in a hurry could be like in 2 meanings, right? So you can be in a hurry to finish your project without paying enough time for setting the correct thread tension, choosing correct threads, needles, trying even stitching quality and adjusting thread tension on a piece of fabric, and then already start working on your project. And another meaning of being in a hurry, it's trying to accomplish a project that is much more difficult than where you're like solving level now. If you, for example, just started learning sewing and you made already bags, let's say tote bags, but you didn't install zipper yet, you didn't make pouch like pockets, like patch pockets, you didn't work with decorative stitches, and your next project you want to make already some garment, like let's say skirt, it will be much harder for you to accomplish and make it with the proper quality. And like, for example, even if your skirt is without a zipper and without pockets, but you will still need to work on curved seams, for example. Yeah, in the back we have straight seams. Here you will have curved seam. You will need to attach a belt. You will need to work on hemming, and maybe even make a button with the buttonhole. So if your level for now is very like basic, make another bag, make bag with the pocket, make bag with a zipper, with the different types of maybe with the lining also, if you made without lining the previous one. So then you will gradually will be ready to move to more complicated, more complex design. So don't be in a hurry. And actually, another one thing that I see that people in a hurry to buy more advanced sewing machine with the more functional, like with the more options for sewing different decorative stitches, different type of embroideries. And in the beginning, especially in the beginning, I see it's kind of scared people away after they try to master their sewing machine. So if you have a choice, if you didn't buy your sewing machine, or you have, for example, one sewing machine that is very simple, don't be in a hurry to buy more advanced sewing machines. So you basically need sewing machine that can stitch straight, can make a zigzag stitching, so you can work with the knit fabrics as well and with the stretchy fabrics, and for making buttonholes. And then if you have like a few options for embroidery stitching, it would be just a bonus. But this is basically all what you will need for beginning. And believe me, you can make majority of your garments, of your projects, just with a very simple sewing machine. This is why in all my classes, in the master classes, in my courses, I work with the very, very basic sewing machines. So people will see and can understand and can see a proof that you don't need super advanced, super expensive sewing machine. So the mistake number 2, choosing incorrect fabrics, and especially now when you have a lot of online stores for buying fabrics, very common mistake people make. They try to buy online without having experience buying fabric offline. So before you make this transition and start buying fabrics online by just reading the description of the fabric, I strongly advise you to go into the actual stores and try to understand how fabric looks, how it behaves, what is the fiber content. So basically you need to pay attention for 3 major properties of fabrics or characteristics of fabrics. First of all, what is the fiber content? Because sometimes like rayon fabric and the cotton fabric can look pretty similar in a roll, but when you touch them, you will see the difference, you will feel the difference. When you also open the rolls a little bit and try to form like a drapes from these 2 different types of fabrics, you will see that rayon fabric and cotton fabric form absolutely different type of drapes. And also read the labels on the fabrics. It will also help you to understand, is it like cotton or is cotton blend, how also fabrics behave with the different fiber contents. And then when you already develop this feeling for which garment, which fabric you need to use, then it will be much easier for you to switch to the online store, buying fabric online. Also, if you didn't watch my previous video, I mentioned universal chart that I created, and I use it for any sewing project, for majority of garments, and also for some accessories like bags, in home textile design. I created this chart and I put all necessary information that you may need for setting the correct fabrics, threads, needles, stitch lengths, choosing the correct presser foot for each of your projects. I will have a link, some here. I will put it after in the on the screen, and also I will have the link to this chart in the description to this video. So you're welcome to upload it and use it. It's absolutely free. And I hope it will help you to have this peace of mind when you're choosing fabrics, choosing threads, needles, setting correct presser foot and also stitch length. And we're moving to the mistake number 3. And it's very, very common mistake as well, choosing incorrect threads and needles for certain type of fabrics. Again, the chart that I just mentioned, that this guide will help you a lot with this. So you will be sure that you are setting correct threads and needles for a certain type of fabrics, for certain weight and thickness of fabrics. But in general, if you don't pay enough attention to setting correct and size and types of threads and needles, so they are not correlated between each other and not correlated between also fabric that you are using, it can cause, first of all, bad stitching quality, of course, skipped stitches, different kinds of thread tension problems for bobbin thread or for needle thread. Also, it can cause even damaging of the fabric and even damaging of the sewing machine. So if your balance wheel will stuck in a position where needle goes exactly inside of the like a bobbin case and is forming a stitch, Get stuck in this position. Sometimes it can cause a breakage of the needle, and also damaging of this very precise mechanism inside of the bobbin case, the loop taker, not actually bobbin case, inside of the shuttle mechanism. So be careful with that. Always pay attention that you set the correct thread needle to your fabric type. So the mistake number 4, using only universal presser foot, only one type of a presser foot. Or of course, we're using another presser foot for attaching zippers. But if you're using just a regular universal presser foot for majority of stitching, for different type of fabrics, for different types of seams, and you are switching to another presser foot only for attaching zippers or for making a buttonhole, if your sewing machine has this special presser foot for buttonholes, then I would strongly also advise you to use another presser fit for different types of seams. A very good example of it would be just using a special presser foot for straight stitching. And when you just stitch straight, use only this type of presser foot. This presser foot has very small opening, and it will help your sewing machine to form the correct stitch on each stitch, especially if you're working with a very soft fabric or very thin fabrics or stretchy fabrics. Even with the regular cotton, let's say non-stretchy cotton, it will be very first of all, it will be easy for you to sew. For second, it will create better stitching quality. And for third, what is very also important, it will give you the feeling that it's actually easy to do, and your motivation, you will not have this frustration with a bad stitching quality when you just need stitch straight, especially if you need a straight stitching as a decorative stitches. Like if you want to use thicker thread and contrast color of threads and stitch decorative seam, you definitely wanted to make it, as straight as you can. So the special presser fit will help you. Or, for example, if you're working with silky fabrics, use special presser foot for satin fabrics. Or if you're, let's say, attaching some elements to the fabrics, use a special presser foot. It will make your work much easier, with much higher quality, and much faster. So it's like 3 positive moments of using the correct presser fit. In my classes, I actually divided all presser foot that I have, and I'm showing I have over 30, I think, presser fit, different presser fit. So, and 5 or 6 of them, it's very basic. That's what I advise people to use most of the time. And another about 10 presser fit we use for more complex techniques, let's say sewing techniques, for working with the leather, for working with the knit fabrics, for attaching bias tapes, or for more advanced sewing techniques. And another the third group of presser fit, it's a group of decorative presser fit. We use them for different type of decorative sewing tasks, like attaching some stuffs or for example making decorative stitches, on attaching 2 parts together with some like a piping line, different or making ruffles, making also embroidery on silky fabrics. So for different types of decorative stitches, there another group of presser fit. So basically, at least if you're using just 2-3 presser feet, at least make it a little bit like wider the selection of the presser feet that you are that you're using for your normal like everyday sewing project. No, if you're sewing every day, if you're sewing not every day, but for majority of your sewing task, you're using like more than just a 2 or 3 presser feet. Okay, so that the mistake number 5, I believe. Yes, number 5. What I see also among people with the more already advanced skills, not correct hands position for straight stitching. And this is a result of learning in improper techniques for straight stitching. But what it causes for the future, of course, when you're moving to the more complex designs, more difficult sewing techniques, it will impact the quality of a seam. It will impact the quality of a finished project as well. So hands position, you need to follow the professional rules for hands position, how you fix fabric. So you do not press your fabrics to the sewing machine. Don't keep it hands on both sides of the needle and trying to stitch in this way and like turning. You need to fix fabric from both sides. You need to, maybe I will make another video. I'll help you. I also have, I will leave a link in the description to this video with the 4 rules for professional rules for straight stitching, for effortless straight stitching. So you can double check it as well. And it is also a part of my entire course. But you can have an idea, at least for any other sewing project that you may learn after. These skills, these techniques are universal. So we are moving to the mistake number 6, also very, very commonly seen. Using not properly attuned sewing machine, or do not provide a proper maintenance to your sewing machine. Like weekly, monthly, yearly maintenance, oiling, cleaning of a sewing machine. And even if you set everything correctly, needles, threads, fabrics, you set everything correctly, but something wrong with the stitching, something wrong with the thread tension, or your thread, like needle thread, breaks constantly. Something going on with the mechanical part. And pretty often I hear that like a surprise that, oh, I need to clean it, oh, I need to oil it. We need to do it, especially if you sew regularly. If you sew like every, like let's say every few days, you sew, you do some project, you need to at least monthly open your sewing machine, clean your bobbin case mechanism, clean your needle bar. So see, at least check it and oil it, at least for 1 or 2 drops, put on those joints that are moving constantly. And then you will prevent, also you will clean the lint that is collecting there. So that is also very important. In the even if your sewing machine for now working perfectly, like work perfect with different types of fabrics, but if you don't maintain it properly, at the same moment, it will also start having a different sound. How it actually working when you're sewing, you'll have different sound, or you will have different issues with the stitching quality, even if you don't change anything else, like any settings. The mistake number 8. It's ironing and ironing with let's say like that, correlation between ironing and sewing. So basically, each sewing step need to be followed by ironing step. And if you don't do it properly, if you don't prepare your fabric, for example, for cutting, first of all, ironing fabric before cutting, super important. I see it over and over and over. People cut fabrics, try to use patterns and cut fabrics that are wrinkled. Not like dramatically wrinkled, but they are not flat. Fabric need to be flat as a table, need to lay on a table absolutely flat. So when you put the pattern, also flat pattern, it will create so it will guarantee that you will cut exactly shape of the pattern. So, and also during making a garment, your stitching step need to be followed by the ironing step. It's like general rule, but what I see often, people skip the ironing step is very important. Don't skip it. It will affect also the finishing of the garment, and also the quality of each seam. So you need to do it. And also, if we are talking about ironing before applying the interfacing, so if you don't iron fabric, it doesn't shrink, and you apply interfacing. So interfacing, you know, this adhesive interfacing. If you're working with the more complex designs, like making jackets or making even shirts, you need to apply interfacing. If you're applying interfacing, your fabric didn't shrink, and you apply interfacing, fabric can shrink, interfacing doesn't shrink, so it will have not proper like kind of surface, will create not proper surface. And when you already attach it, the glue is already inside of the fabric, so it's very hard to take it. So need to prepare, basically you need to prepare your fabric before cutting with the ironing, and then also iron need to be together with the stitching. Okay, so moving forward, also the mistake number 9, it's not learning the cutting techniques. And I have another video I will put it in a description to this video, and also here in a screen I will also put the link. So another video, cutting techniques on how to cut pattern details correctly, how to hold your hand, how to direct your scissors, how your scissors need to need to have like an anchor point at the table, so we do not cut it in the air. So I followed like 4 rules on cutting pattern details correctly. So I think it will be also helpful for you to watch this video, so you will understand what to fix in your cutting, if you need to fix in your cutting techniques. What it can cause if you are not cutting correctly, if you're not holding your scissors correctly. First of all, it's very hard to cut exactly along of the line, especially if it's curved line. The second, if you're cutting without also correct scissor position, you can cut the lower layer little bit like shorter or wider than the upper layer, especially if you're cutting 2 details of patterns together, they need to be symmetrical. So it can cause, even if after you will sew everything correctly, incorrect cutting will cause incorrect finished like appearance of your garment or of your any sewing product. So this is also very important. Don't ignore correct cutting techniques. And mistake number 10. And if like in general, I would tell you that this mistake, when avoiding just this mistake can help you avoid all the previous 9 mistakes. And if you, whatever mistake you made of video cutting, or maybe some of this mistake you already you know that you don't make this mistake, but some of them avoiding this 10th mistake can help you automatically and help with this like missed skills that you have, and also help you to develop your future also skills without making any mistakes. And the mistake number 10 is learning sewing only on your own, without having an experienced mentor or instructor or teacher or coach who will help you who will guide you through all steps, who will help you through this sewing, through your sewing experience. So, like for example, if you are looking at like a before online time, yeah. So when we wanted to learn sewing, we went to the college, or we went as a like another master and learn from them. But now, when we have this very good choice of different and courses, or maybe like free tutorials, we can learn from these different tutorials. But if you don't have like a certain program, if you don't have step-by-step like instruction, what to learn next, how, for example, to set the correct hands position, how to stitch straight, how to like step-by-step developing your skills. If you don't have the person who already learned it before and who can guide you through all these steps, it will much harder for you, first of all, to reach certain level of sewing skills, because first of all, you will spend much more time on finding it out on your own, much more time to to learn it, much more time and also money on trying like on different fabrics, different needles, different threads, buying different patterns. So it's much more difficult to learn on your own. And sometimes when I ask like people who already come and learn with a certain program with me, I ask why you didn't come before, why you just now wanted to, like why you already now. And first of all, the sign that we are tired of walking around and learning, but as a result, we do not have the result that we want to reach. And for second, also a lot of people saying that we are just afraid that it will be very, it's kind of very long-term and difficult commitment, and we do not want to sign up for long-term program. This is also could be fixed, because now we have different programs. You can find different coaches who can help you and accommodate your sewing schedule, your sewing program, your sewing projects according to your schedule and according to your sewing goal, first of all. So that is the biggest advice I can give you, and this is, I think, the biggest mistake people make, trying to learn only on their own, like mistakes, on their own, without help, without professional help. So find your mentor, find your coach, find your instructor who will help you to build each step of your sewing process. And another very common thing people say, that we are afraid it will be expensive. It's not necessary. Some program could be like a semi-private. It's not necessary to be private program. It could be semi-private, could be group program, where you will develop certain skills, but under the professional guidance. It will improve your learning solving experience just in times. So I'm really advising you also to fix this mistake if you also thinking you're making these mistakes, this mistake. So also to make it more practical for this video, I would advise you to go and like make a review of your solving experience and also of these mistakes, to find out which exactly mistakes you make, or which are you're good. You do everything correctly. You don't make these mistakes. So these 10, I will put the list of these 10 mistakes also in the description to this video, so you can actually read it and review and understand what you need to improve, or which mistakes you need to avoid. Also, in the next video, in 2 days, in Saturday, I will talk about four steps for learning to solve, also not only learning to solve, to develop your solving skills the most effective, the most productive way, and the fastest way. Just 4 necessary steps that you need to make sure that you are following in these steps. And so if you do not sure what to do next, which step to do to make next to develop your solving skills, join me on Saturday. I will also explain which exactly steps you need to do. And yeah, I will put the announcement also, and it will be at the same time, 12 p.m. Eastern time or 9 a.m. Pacific time. So for now, I want to tell you thank you for watching, and I hope this list of these mistakes will help you to avoid these mistakes. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next live stream. Also, it will be much more interesting for me to see what exactly mistakes you make, or maybe you didn't make all of this mistake. Maybe you have your coach, and maybe you are doing very good. So also share your experience, or how it is, and what you like, what you would like to improve in your experience. Would be also very interesting to hear it. Okay, so thanks for watching again, and looking forward to see you in my next live stream. Bye bye.